If you've ever had this feeling that something was terribly wrong with the world that we live in, but you couldn't figure out just what it was, then you've come to the right place. Secret societies, mystery religions, and the Illuminati have been controlling our reality since the beginning of time. But not anymore, because there is an awakening happening, and you are about to become a part of it. Wake up, because this is a call for an uprising.
This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. This is a video that's long overdue. I've covered the black goo before, as well as the black smoke. In essence, the demonic possession and those types of things. And now that everybody pretty much has figured out what's going on with the magic potion and how it does have the graphene in it, it makes perfect sense, and it's a good time for me to put out a video with all of these clips together so you could see the predictive programming. You could see how they constantly have been pushing this through music videos, all of this stuff where people are just like, huh? Oh, they're dumping black goo on each other. They're rolling around in black goo. Billie Eilish is falling from hell, pretending to be Lucifer, laying in black goo. Well, now you understand. So there's been plenty of channels over the years, like Nicholson 1968, who I mentioned recently, and even newer channels that I've subbed to who do great work talking about this stuff. Channels like one channel called JD, Jade, who's been doing a lot of videos on this, who I came across. So those are great channels that are constantly talking about transhumanism and those types of things. I want to show you, and go through this with you now. So graphene obviously is something, recently I've been covering it over the last, 3 months or so, bringing more and more attention to it. So what people need to understand is that graphene oxide is the liquidated form of this substance. Graphene oxide, and I'm going to show you here, also could be known as ferrofluid. That's another term for it. So take a look at this and what is possible with it.
I have a magnet under my white plate here. Let's put some ferrofluid on the plate. Ferrofluid is made of nanoparticles of iron, and when you apply a magnetic field to them, they follow the magnetic field lines in this spiky pattern here. The stronger the magnetic field is, the closer together the spikes form. So first, let me show you what happens when I move a regular magnet near the ferrofluid. You can see it just sucks it up to the magnet. Okay, now let's bring the superconductor up to it. Okay, watch it push the spikes out of the way as I bring it close. That's because it's opposing the magnetic field at first. Now, if I were able to get it closer, then it would lock in place and it wouldn't push the spikes out of the way. But if I push it any closer, it's going to go into the ferrofluid. Another cool thing I observed is that when you bring it near the ferrofluid, the spikes actually start to flow towards it. Now this seemed odd to me because there wasn't a reason magnetically why it should do that. So I tested it with just plastic that was cold, not a superconductor, and it did the same thing.
Bring it over to the point of the bolt and just gently drop it on there.
Okay.
In fact, you don't even have to touch it. It'll get pulled right over because of the magnetic field.
Wow, look at it building up. Whoa. That is so cool. It's turning, I don't even know how to describe it. It almost looks like if I touched it, it'd be spiky.
Watch this. Okay, wow. The magnet is actually drawing those particles. Keep loading it up. We're going to see how much fluid we can get on here. If you notice, you look really close, you can see they're like little spikes.
Yeah, that's what it almost looks like. If I were to touch it, it would be spiky. Clearly, I know that's not the case.
It's actually soft. It's still a liquid, but because of the magnetic field, it's actually taking on a different shape. Those little particles are actually little magnets, but they've been coated with a surfactant so they won't stick to themselves. But in the presence of a very strong magnet, they'll begin to take on these interesting shapes.
Oh, look, it's starting to get spiky even on the threading of the bolt.
Yeah.
That is super neat.
So it's fighting against gravity. The gravity's pulling it down. The magnet's pulling it down. Surface tension is trying to create these interesting shapes.
Sure.
But so it looks cool, right?
Yeah,
it's
looks
really
very
interesting,
cool.
Very cool. What would you use it for? Is the real question. And so if you have a hard drive with a spinning axis that you want to seal, you can use ferrofluid. You put 2 magnets around the axle, and the ferrofluid will form a seal around the axle. Or if you want to separate things that are non-magnetic, this is a copper penny.
Sure, but we know that it's only partially, not fully copper, right?
You're right.
Okay.
It's zinc inside and a little copper on the outside, but in either case, it's not magnetic.
Okay, right. Yeah, we know that. It's not going to stick to the fridge or anything like that.
How would I separate that out? We can use ferrofluid. So watch this. Load up my little cup with some ferrofluid. Just use the whole container. Just
Oh, like
you
that,
can
just
pour
dump it in?
Yeah, just dump it in. It's okay. And if we...
That good?
Yeah, that's perfect. If we take the magnet and drop it inside, no great surprise, it's simply going to sink to the bottom.
Sure.
Now, here's where things might get a little bit messy. Watch out.
Woo!
Okay, if I take this super strong magnet and pull it away and put it underneath,
whoa,
the penny will float to the top.
Yeah, immediately.
Immediately. And if I take it away from the magnet, the penny sinks.
Wow.
If I bring it down to the ferrofluid,
and so that's just the force?
The ferrofluid is actually, and I can have you feel it. I'm going to put this magnet back under the plate, and I want you to reach in with your gloves and touch that clump of ferrofluid. What does it feel like? Describe that.
Oh, gel. It feels like a hard, gooey gel, and I can't grab it off here even though I want to.
The density of the material has changed in the presence of a magnetic field, and this is one way that recyclers can actually separate non-magnetic or non-ferrous metals from magnetic metals.
That is so neat, and yeah, you can't, I'm trying to even separate it, and it won't work.
It feels like jello, it's really weird, but if we do take the magnet away, I'll try not to splash, it goes right back to a liquid.
Wow, that is really neat. So then this almost, in theory, can be reused as well, the actual...
It can, yes, absolutely, yeah.
Wow.
There's even some talk of using this sort of nanotechnology to target drugs. So if we attach a specific drug to the nanoparticles here, we could put it in an entire body and it would all be dilute. But if we target an organ with a strong magnetic field, we can actually cause all of the drugs to go to that one location.
So in theory, if you needed maybe a heart medicine that you didn't want going elsewhere,
in theory, yes,
there could be a magnet used so that we could
target that stuff using the tiny nanoparticles, and then take the field away. It disperses throughout the body, and you're fine. So it's something people are working on.
Okay, so now you see what this is, what this does, and why we're constantly being told about mRNA. We're constantly being told about nanoparticles and the evolution of science. And people are just like, oh, that sounds wonderful and great. Well, the nanoparticles are so small that you can't see it, right? Inside of something that would be a magic potion. To the visible eye. It also is something that could clearly be dyed, or some type of liquid dye could be used to disguise the coloring of it on the outside form. But the nanoparticles are so small that are in there, you have to literally use a microscope to see these types of things. Celebrities have been pushing the black goo, from Lady Barfbag, Christina Aguilera. This goes back 2 decades, I'd say, at this point, of seeing it over and over. I'm going to show you clips now from all these things, which I'm sure you have seen and never put one and one together. But now think about it. You think they were just making these music videos and making these movies like Venom for no reason at all? No, it was predictive programming to show you the veins, the black goo inside the body, what's going to take over. And this is the demonic possession that's going to be involved with this. So this is a video. This is step 1 of me breaking this stuff down for you. I'm also going to show you what's going to end up happening to people who have it, and something that I believe as well ties into climate change and the temperature needing to drop with all this stuff. But let's start here. Look at the predictive programming, the endless amounts of it with black goo, black smoke, which also is representing it because it could be liquidated out of the smoke. Take a look.
Can't commit to anything but a crime. Leaders on vacation and invite them. Hills burn in California. Quiet when I'm coming home and I'm on my own. Let me let you go.
I'm afraid you won't survive.
Some cells inside me will fight and defend their integrity till the very end.
computer. It's moving.
What the hell are you?
I am Venom. You did not find us. We found you. Think of yourself as my bride.
You gonna eat anybody else?
Most likely. Is why we are here. Cooperate, and you might just survive.
And don't make me have to give it back to academics. You had it when you thought you had me slipping at the telly. Even he ain't spitting like this on his last shit. Oh, you better go back and live. Revenge is the best medicine. Increase the dose from least to most and then tell the great. What? Piss and moan, but I'm not gonna fall. Bitch.
And look, that's just the tip of the iceberg. I mean, that's just some videos. There's movies like Prometheus and other sci-fi movies that go into way deeper detail. If I had, I can't, these are the ones off the top of my head and from others that I've seen who have covered this stuff, putting it together so you can see how mainstream it is. Do you think Eminem gave a phone call to Billie Eilish? They're all like, yeah, that's really cool. Imagine we had black coming out our nose and out of our eyes and black smoke going inside of us, or Stranger Things. Oh, wow, how original, becoming possessed by this, this thing called the Mind Frayer. I mean, think about it, Mind Frayer, right? That's the thing in Stranger Things that demonically possesses people. You see how all of this stuff is right in front of our faces? And now it's coming to fruition. So that's my video on the graphene oxide. Obviously, if you can't figure out what I'm talking about, just think a little bit deeper without me being able to specifically say, about this cool new science that they're experimenting on humans. This is what the future holds, folks. People can think it's crazy all they want to. They don't have to believe it. They can dismiss it. But the more this gets inside you, the more likely you're going to start mutating. So the question is, how would they get it in you? Well, now we know how. Pretty simple. And they really want it in you. If you follow this channel, I mean, you see how desperate they are? I've been showing you the clips, how desperate they are. They are desperate to get it in you. Because whatever's happening with CERN and whatever they're bringing over from the other side, it's happening very, very soon. And people are going to serve as hosts for all of this. So that's why it's important to take care of yourself, stay strong in your walk, and be very aware of what they're trying to do. Because the enemy, God tells us to be as wise as serpents and innocent. God tells us to be as wise as serpents and as innocent as doves. And there's a reason for that. It doesn't mean to ignore. It means to be aware of your enemy. Be as wise as they are, but be innocent. Don't be sick and wicked like they are. That's what we all need to be. So stay aware. I hope this video helped you in some way. God bless all of you and your families.